A very good Friday evening, everyone. Welcome back to the Magnificent Mags channel. I hope you're all well, and thank you as always for tuning in. I hope you're enjoying the sun wherever you are, whether that's the beach, in your back garden, or in a pub. It's absolutely stunning. I'm around Benton here, and it's 31, 32 degrees. Now, can you guess where I am? Well, that should give you a clue. But it'll be given away in just a moment. Most of you know where I am already, don't you? But yeah, there's a reason I'm up here. Yes, I'm next to the training ground at Darsley Park. Now, there's a reason I'm here, because all the talk at the moment is of infrastructure. The news yesterday was disappointing to hear. Not because we don't want the club to get it right, but because we were given another soft date, and now the delays occurred again, and we're waiting to find out. We're staying at St James's Park, though, with Stack's lease being extended by 5 years by the council. That looks unlikely because we can't expand the Gallagher, and with the metro tunnel, as I said in my last video underneath, it doesn't appear logistically feasible. So I've came up here because it's better to be on location to discuss all things infrastructure. So yes, the current training ground, I'm next to it because I want to talk about that first. So our previous training grounds, as we know, were at Newcastle and Benwell, and it was well documented about the one at Benwell, the players having to train on grass with the public and also share dressing rooms with them, and that to train around dog shit, which isn't the best thing ever. So this place was sourced. You can't see much of it obviously because of all the privacy that's put up, but here you are, see the club crest. Obviously that's another hot topic of debate that might be changing soon, but yes, this was purpose built when they found the location. It's been open almost 22 years. It will be next month. It opened in July 2003, and it was only under Freddie Shepherd's ownership for nearly 4 years. Well, if you want to be exact, it was since it opened, it was 3 years and 10 months. And then after that, it was under Mike Ashley. Now, he's someone I'm not going to go into too much because we know how much he criminally underinvested in the club and the training ground. Nearly ran into the ground. He's a man who I don't like speaking of too much because he covered it in tat, never reinvested anything. We got nothing for advertising. But since PIF came in, they realised this place was dated, needed upgrading. It really needed upgrading. I mean, that's an understatement. So the players have obviously, it's had £10 million of investment since 2022. The players have obviously got an enhanced player lounge. The staff rooms and everything will have been upgraded because we know what it was under Ashley. The hard player recovery was really been ice baths and basically kids paddling pools, which was probably from B&M. And for a professional football club, that was a joke. It was an absolute joke, pathetic, and we were the butt of jokes from everywhere else in the Premier League and probably other clubs, and rightly so. Honestly, I've got no words. It was just, honestly, it was an embarrassment. But fortunately, PIF, they're ambitious. That's what we wanted. And as we know, infrastructure is exempt from PSR losses. So they can put as much as they like into here, and a potential new location, which I'll be going to soon. Obviously, it's not confirmed, but it's a location I think's the most viable. Since the investment, they've got proper player recovery. They'll have ice baths, cryotherapy chambers, better equipment for fitness and performance. So all that dovetails nicely, and it's why we've got Champions League 2 times in 3 years and ended with trophy drought. Now, they have submitted plans yet to upgrade it once again, because we're going to be waiting a while till we get a new training ground. And until that's built, we need to keep pace with other clubs, because for few examples, even though they're in the Championship now, Leicester have got a brilliant training ground, Spurs do. We know that Manchester City do, Brighton do, and that's the only way you retain or attract new talent. So the investment that's going to happen here, if it's obviously the plan and permissions approved, it's going to be open in approximately, well, could be a year, could be a year and a month, year and 2 months, but that could be anywhere up until August of next year. Hello, lads.
Hello.
You all right, mate? How you doing?
Can't see.
Sorry, it's a bit too sunny.
Hello.
How you doing? I'm just talking about the training ground and where potential new location might be.
No, it is. Man, Jody, I can't see a bat, but I love you. He's a good lad.
Thank you, mate. So, I hope you're enjoying the sun. You having a good night?
I'm pretty sunburned.
Have a good night, lads. Enjoy your weekend. Thank you. I'll keep you in. So what the club have planned on the upgrades that'll be finished by next year if they get approved, it's going to be 1,350 square metres of new build accommodation. There's going to be new offices, meeting space, additional support facilities. It's going to be reconfigured for more treatment spaces, staff areas. It's going to house front of house facilities and an enlarged players lounge. Obviously it's been enlarged already. It looks fantastic on the videos the club have released, but this will be even better. It's going to keep it at around approximately 140 personnel, enhanced facilities to remove low quality buildings, an extension to the car park on the north and west perimeters and storage space. So the car park extension, the west's just here to my left, right of the entrance, and the north is obviously over that way. So yes, it's all exciting and it'll be ready, as I said, by summer 2026 if it gets approved. The gates have just closed, they were open when I passed before. But yeah, I just wanted to do this on location here. So that's part one of this video. So now I'm going to head up to the location where I think the training ground is going to move to. So I'll see you in a moment. Hello everyone, welcome to part 2 of my training ground video. The sun's setting a little bit over there, it's behind the trees. Now, while summer's my favourite season of the year, I am glad to get a bit shade while I'm doing this section. Now, I am up at Newcastle Racecourse. I said in part 1 I was coming to a location which I think will be like more realistic, logistically viable for building the new training ground on. And this location, there's 2 reasons why I think it will be. I know a lot of the players live up in Ponteland, like Darcy Hall, and that's one of the locations mooted northwest of the airport. However, here you've got the perfect transport links, the A1 and Great North Road are just down the bottom there. Obviously the long road, all of you who've been to the racecourse know this road's very long coming into here. And 2, some of the players as well do live in Jesmond and Gosforth, so I think it's kind of like 6 and 2 3s. And another big factor is one of our owners, the Reuben brothers, own this place. Yeah, so in terms of red tape and bureaucracy, it'll be less of a faff on having to build here with them already owning the land. So yeah, that's why I've came here. Now, that's the strategic planning location why I've went into it. And who's been appointed? Well, the architects, Populous. They've been responsible for building Real Madrid's training ground, and we're all seeing, well, I hope everyone's seen, Real Madrid have got a state-of-the-art training ground, world-class facilities, what we want, and if they do ours anything like theirs, then we're on to a winner, because they've even got their training facility as a 20,000-seater, which is absolutely ludicrous, by the way. So that's bigger than most clubs' actual stadium. And Eddie Howe's already talked it up, because we know infrastructure is key in terms of not just the short term but the long term. And PIF have greenlit £200 million for the new training centre. And Eddie Howe's words were, players live there day to day. It's a key environment. It helps to keep players happy, stay and recruit well. The infrastructure is so important. World-class facilities show ambition and are a game changer. And we know in terms of growing the infrastructure, that'll look good for the Newcastle United brand. And the long-term appeal is staff and players will stay because they want to be at the best facilities possible, and it'll be easier to recruit players. Now, going into the next part, PSR. Now, most of you will be aware, if I'm going to explain this, just in case you're not aware, this is not to patronise anyone, but PSR, you can have £105 million losses. That's £35 million a season over 3 seasons. But the key thing here in terms of PSR is infrastructure, like amortisation, isn't included in PSR losses. So while we are limited in terms of player recruitment and trying to catch the clubs on the pitch with our players, we know off the pitch the owners can invest as much as they like to give with the best facilities in the world, because we know other clubs, as I said in part 1, have grown theirs, like Spurs, Brighton, Leicester City. And investing in your training facilities and your stadium, well, it's smart business because it improves competitiveness on and off the pitch, means you can close the gap on clubs who are ahead of you and increase the gap on clubs who are trying to chase you. And the long-term benefits of that are you'll be able to retain the best talent. So we've already brought through the likes of Lewis Miley, and new contracts have just been handed out to Leo Sherrard, Sean Neve and Trevin Sanusi. And it also means you don't harm your transfer budget. So you plan for it meticulously. You can still go for the players you want because it's not coming out of all out of one budget. And it also means as well, you're not breaching PSR because, as I've just covered, PSR losses, infrastructure like amortization isn't included. And that in turn equals player development and recruitment appeal. But like I said as well, in terms of retaining your players, if players want to go to clubs with better training facilities, obviously that's why I've said it's key in investing in Darsley Park at the moment, because until this is built, we need to try and make that as best as possible. And it means we're not losing players to clubs with better training facilities, to the likes of Spurs or Manchester City. Now, from a fan perspective, what do I think? Well, I've been saying for years, I think we all have, we've been crying out for ambition. Because that 14 years of my lives, 14 and a bit under Ashley, I covered it earlier, didn't I? Like, he just didn't invest in the training ground. He put up all these businesses like Flannels and Shite Direct, and he just never gave the club anything back. I think the club were getting £170,000 a season off his advertisements, and honestly, pitiful that. Honestly, some players get more than that a week, and that was a season, I believe. And we were just on the floor. No hope, no ambition, and it just felt like the club had no future. We didn't compete in any competitions, but PIF and the Reuben brothers, I know the delays are frustrating for all fans. A result of that, like I've said before, is because of no players incoming at the moment. Like nothing's been confirmed, like we've agreed a deal, and I can understand the frustration. Hello, mate. He put us off a bit there. Now, I've already covered the long term, so we know that that's in terms of player retainment, recruitment appeal. The best players and staff will want to come here or stay. They'll have the best facilities. They'll get the best treatment in the world. But what's the short term? Well, we know in the interim, while Darsley Park's being upgraded and we haven't got a new state-of-the-art training ground, well, it is a possibility that we'll lose out on our main targets to clubs with either higher wages, better transfer budgets and better facilities. Now, that's frustrating, of course it is, but we've got to accept where we are in terms of the pecking order at the moment. We're trying to close the gap, the ambition's there, but you can't just build a training ground overnight or a new stadium. You can't just pass it through. So in the meantime, it's key, as I've said, the investment in Darsley Park is key to try and keep pace with these clubs until this new training ground comes in, because as soon as it does, we'll blow everyone out of the water, in my opinion. But I've got a question for everyone here. Now, I know the short-term pain will be missing out on targets, and it'll take time to build these types of infrastructure. But look at it this way, would you rather paper over the cracks and stay at Darsley Park, which is outdated, but it's looking better, but a bit like St James's, it is dated and it is falling apart a bit. So would you rather paper over the cracks, put masking tape over a hole in a pipe when there's water coming out of it, or would you rather have the long-term gains from it? This will be a long-lasting legacy that will reverberate for generations. So I know it's, I say it a lot, but patience is the name of the game, in my opinion. Now, you know I like to be objective in these videos, so what are the risks? Well, I've already covered a few. We'll miss out with number one targets sometimes, the clubs with bigger wages and budgets, until we get with sponsorships and grow with brand, not just in the UK, but globally. And that means they could go to clubs with better facilities. Fans are impatient, as I've covered loads of times. They want things to happen right now or yesterday, but that's not always the case. So you've got to try and just stick to your guns, stand your ground in the opposition of fans wanting everything immediately. But what do you think of this? I want to put the question on you. Like, is sustainable growth the right thing to do? Obviously, PSR is affecting in terms of player recruitment, but it won't in terms of infrastructure. So you're happy with sustainable growth? Would you feel a better satisfaction if we build slowly rather than like buying everyone immediately like Chelsea done or Manchester City are doing? So obviously City, no trophies, and they've just spent over £200 million already since January, just in this year alone, and it's barely half a year old. So is it better that we're doing it this way? We're sustainable, we've won a trophy, 2 Champions League campaigns in 3 seasons. Are you happy that we're doing it by the book properly? put your thoughts in the comments. Now, how am I going to sum up this video to end? Well, I think it's history making, it's legacy defining. As I said, it'll reverberate for generations. And you know what? It's a once in a lifetime opportunity. You don't get these opportunities all the time, and you can't let it pass you by. So however long it takes, I'm a patient person, so I'm willing to wait to see the long-term success of a state-of-the-art stadium and training facilities. But let us know what you think in the comments. Do you think the sustainable path is better than just blitzing all your money at once? Is the long-term vision and the club's plans and the areas that they're proposing to have the training ground, do they excite you? Does the £200 million budget excite you? Please let us know what you think. And is this the way to beat PSR? Because obviously we got stung last summer, and I think that's why the club are taking it with caution, because it's stung with, it's well reported that selling Mint and Anderson last summer really got our backs up. So the club, yes, they've got a lot of money to spend, but they're not just going to dive in this time because they don't want to be back in that situation again. They're not going to run in and just bid anything like for João Pedro or James Trafford, where clubs, especially in the Premier League, adding Newcastle, Saudi, English tax for their players. They're trying to rinse it. The club are trying to do it sustainably. But that's it from me for now. Thank you so much for watching. Well, I've been out on location this evening. If you do like this video, please drop it a like and subscribe to my YouTube channel for the latest videos when they're uploaded, and do the same for all my other social media channels as well. It's really appreciated and helps it keep growing. And do the same for my friends at Magpie 24/7, Magpie Ultras and NUFC 360. But for now, on this beautiful Friday evening up at Newcastle Racecourse, take care, enjoy your weekends, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye bye.